Okay, in a previous class, we have discussed one very important topic that is input to buffering. Okay, then today let me to go to next topic, that is the specification of tokens. So before going to this topic, just I want to brief you about English language. Then I go to this specification of tokens. Then you will understand this topic very easily. See, guys, in our languages, regional languages, not only Kannada, not only Marathi, not only Telugu, not only Tamil, not only English, not only Hindi, in every language, there are some alphabets are there, right? So those alphabets, in particularly if you consider in English language, there are 26 alphabets are there in uppercase 26 and in lowercase 26. Okay. Apart from these alphabets, we have some other symbols like semicolon, comma. These are punctuation symbols are also present in our language, right? So these alphabets are going to form our language. How they are going to form? Because in alphabet, in language, there are some words are there, right? So how these words are composed? The words are composed of these alphabets. So you can call this word as a sequence of some alphabets or sequence of some characters, right? So in our programming language, we call these characters, these alphabets as characters. In our programming language, we call these alphabets as characters. And in our programming language, we call words as a strings. I think you know this already, right? So we call words in programming language as a strings, right? So then if in that word there is no any space, then we will consider it as only one word. So if you consider one complete sentence, okay, one complete sentence, there are multiple number of words are there. So these sentences are containing words as well as space. So because of those spaces only, we can say that there are multiple number of words are there. Otherwise, if you remove those all spaces, then we will get only one word again. So in programming languages, words are called as strings. In fact, sentences are also called as strings because sentences are also sequence of characters, right? So which are enclosed within double quotes in our programming languages. So in programming languages, alphabets are called as characters, words are also called as strings, and sentences are also called as strings, right? So this much if you understand, then you will understand this topic very easily. Here we are going to specify the tokens, and already you know how we get these tokens. Lexical analyzer, first it reads the input characters from our source program, then it will make a grouping of these input characters, and those groups are called as lexemes, and these lexemes are again converted into tokens, which contains two parts, token name and attribute value, right? This much we have studied in the previous classes, right? So here now we are going to specify these tokens. It means how to write these tokens, that is specification, writing of tokens. Okay, so here before tokens, from where you got these tokens? From lexemes, correct? And for lexemes, so what you have taken, which help you have taken? You have taken the help of some patterns, right? So those lexemes should match those patterns. That pattern definition already I told you yesterday, lexeme definition also I told you yesterday, token definition also I told you yesterday, right? So before token, there is a lexeme which is coming under our picture, and before lexeme, the patterns are coming under our picture. So what are these patterns? Patterns are nothing but they are sequence of some symbols which are matching our lexemes, or lexemes will match our pattern. So for best example, pattern for keywords are nothing but sequence of some alphabets, sequence of some characters which are in lowercase, that is keywords. Pattern for our identifiers or variables or function names. So any variable name, any identifier should begin with the alphabet, and alphanumeric characters are allowed. Underscore is also allowed, but no special symbols are allowed, right? So first character should not begin with a digit. First character should always begin with the alphabet. This type of patterns we can create for these lexemes for the token identifier. right? So these are the patterns. So to write these patterns, to represent these patterns, we use regular expressions. Okay, so regular expressions are very much helpful to write or to represent our patterns. Okay, then our lexemes will match these patterns. Then after matching, then these lexemes will be converted into tokens. So here the specification of tokens or specifying tokens is nothing but specifying our lexemes only. We are going to study in this topic. Okay, so regular expressions will not represent almost all patterns. At least they will match, they will express all the patterns which are important for us to specify our tokens, at least in our programming languages. Okay, so regular expressions are not so much powerful that they will represent or specify all the patterns. Okay, so not true. So they can only specify the patterns, at least for our tokens which are present in our programming languages. Then it is enough for us. So here we are going to see the notation of these regular expressions. It means that we are going to study the regular expressions in detail here, and also how these regular expressions are going to be used in our lexical analyzer. That thing we are going to study here. And here in previous slide I have shown you this topic, specification of tokens. Actually in our textbook it is 3.3 topic, but here in my notes it is a 2.8. It means that eighth topic of second module. Okay, just remember, because of that only I have written the note here. Okay, so don't get confusion. This is a 2.8, and one sub topic is there, that is 2.8.1, which is a strings and languages. So just now I already told you what you mean by strings and what you mean by languages, right? So here just remember the meaning of alphabet. What is alphabet in your language? Alphabet is nothing but it is a set of some symbols. Alphabet is a set of symbols. It is A to Z, capital or small letter. These all are symbols. Alphabets are symbols, right? So other examples for symbols are, they may be not only alphabets or characters in our language, right? So in addition to them, we have some digits also there. So best examples for symbols are letters, that is capital A to Z, small letter A to Z, then digits nothing but 0 to 9, and punctuations like comma, semicolon, underscore, these question mark, these all are punctuations. So these all are nothing but they are symbols. And here one example is there. If you write the set like this in open brace and closed brace, and in between them if you write some elements of that set, that is 0 comma 1, then it is called as binary alphabet, since it is containing only binary digits 0 and 1. Okay, then similarly ASCII characters are also best example or important example for alphabet. And one more notation is there apart from ASCII, that is Unicode. That is also one example of symbol alphabet. Unicode, ASCII and Unicode, these all are coding methodologies, right? So these are also best examples for our alphabet. Right, now come to the string. Already I told you what is the string. It is a sequence of characters. Here you can call it as a sequence of alphabets or sequence of some symbols which are made up of these alphabets, right? So here suppose if you consider one string as a S, we can calculate the length of that string by using this symbol, that is cardinality of that string. It is nothing but number of symbols, number of characters, number of letters which are present in that string. For example, banana is a string. How many characters are there? How many symbols are there? 6 symbols are there. So length of this string is a 6. And if a string is empty string, so there is no any character, there is no any symbol, then it is denoted as a epsilon symbol, remember, and whose length is a 0. The empty string length is a 0. Okay, so then language. What is this language? In our English language only you consider, what is that language? It is a composed of n number of sentences, right? Similarly here also this language is a set of strings. So just remember, string is a set of a sequence of, string is a set of symbols, Okay, just remember my observe my pronunciations and my explanations, and also keep on observing on my mouse cursor on screen. String is a set of symbols. Remember, set of symbols. Okay, then what is language? Language is a set of strings. String is a set of symbols. Language is a set of strings. Okay, so then we'll move to next some very important terms and definitions. These are usually related to our language. So I want to explain you this. Very interesting. Prefix. What is the prefix of a string? Suppose a string is there, like suppose there is a string is there with a prefix like Mr. Rama, Mrs. Sita, Miss Sita, Professor Rama, Doctor Sita, right? Engineer Sita. Like this, before our name we will add something that is nothing but prefix, right? So here also, so prefix is nothing but it is any string which is getting after removing zero or more symbols from the end of that string. The best example, if you remove the last characters from the banana string, then whatever the remaining is there, that is called as prefix. At the beginning, whatever the you will get, that is a prefix. And here banana is a complete string is there. Sir, we have not deleted or removed anything here. Of course, we have not removed anything. So removal of it is removal of zero or more symbols. And where you are removing? From the end of this string. So you have not removed here. So this string is also considered as a prefix, and empty string is also prefix. Okay, since you have not removed anything, and if you removed all 6 characters or symbols from banana string, then epsilon will be present there, which is empty string. That is also prefix. Okay, so here we are deleting the characters from the end of our string. And suffix will be always at the end of our string. So here we are going to remove or delete the characters from the beginning of our string. So if you observe your banana as a complete string, the first 1 or 2 characters or 3 characters if you delete or remove, the remaining last characters will be suffix of a string. And here you have not deleted anything at the beginning of the string, so entire banana string also considered as a suffix. And epsilon, so if you delete all the characters from the beginning of your string, then nothing will be remaining there, then empty string is also belonging to the suffix. So always remember, empty string as well as a complete string are prefix as well as a suffix. So just you should focus on here is the best example for prefix is a BAN. It means here we are deleting the last characters of that string, and here we are deleting the first characters of the string. Then substring. Substring means here we are not deleting the characters from beginning or not from a end. We are deleting the characters by both beginning as well as a end. It means that we are getting a substring by deleting the prefix as well as suffix. Both we should delete at the beginning as well as the end at the same time. Then banana, you have not deleted anything from the beginning, we have not deleted anything from the end here. So banana is a again substring of the string banana. Next, NaN. Why you got NaN? You have deleted BA and here you have deleted A. So you got NaN, which is a substring. Epsilon is again belonging to the substring of a banana string. Okay. Next, proper prefixes. Proper prefix, proper suffix, proper substring is nothing but these all are prefix, suffix and substrings only. But why they are called as a proper? Which are not equal to our epsilon, that is empty string, and which are not equal to our original string banana. It means that here if you consider BAN is a proper prefix, but banana is not a proper prefix, and empty string is also not a proper prefix. And here NaNA is a proper suffix, but banana and empty strings are not a proper suffix. Substring. Here, banana is not a substring, proper substring. Okay, but NaN is a proper substring. Are you getting? And again, empty string is also not a proper substring. So they should not be empty string and they should not be the complete string. Then the remaining part, if you delete a prefix, if you delete a suffix, whatever you want to do, you can do. But they should not be empty string and they should not be the complete entire original string. Then these are called as proper prefix, proper suffix, and proper substring. And what do you mean by subsequence? Subsequence is any string formed by deleting 0 or more, not necessarily the consecutive positions of yes. See, here it is not compulsory to delete the characters continuously. If you delete the first character, then you can delete the third or fourth character. Then the remaining string is there, no? That is called as a subsequence. It is not compulsory that you should delete first character and second character, or fifth character and sixth character, not like that. There is no compulsory to delete or remove the characters sequentially or continuously, consecutively. If you delete a second character, then directly you can delete the fifth character. Then the remaining string is there, no? That is called as a subsequence of our original string. Okay, so these are the definitions or terms we should understand. Then let us go to one important interesting example on one operation called concatenation. Concatenation is nothing but joining something to something, right? So here x is one string and y is also one string. Two strings are there, x and y. Then the concatenation of these two strings is what here, and how to represent it, how to denote it. X, y is a concatenation of x with y or y with x. Don't get confusion. It is not x plus y. It is just xy. It means that y is coming and joining x here. Y is appending to x. That is xy. Okay. Just strings we are writing one after the another without any intermediate symbols. Then it is a concatenation. Okay, there is no plus also, there is no dot also, there is no star also, just simply xy. Okay, that is concatenation of two strings. What is happening here? Y is appending to x. Suppose x is a string dog, that is dog. Y is a string house, house. Then after concatenation, xy value will be dog house without space, dog house. If you have given space after G or before H, then there will be a space here. Here we have not used any space. X is a dog, Y is a house, then XY is a dog house. Okay, and here also empty string is very important. It is playing very important role because the empty string is identity under concatenation. It means that if any string is there, yes, there will be a concatenation of yes to that empty string, or the concatenation of empty string to that yes. So which is again originally giving us the original string yes. So empty string will be always present in every string, remember. Okay, now let us see some other operations on languages. Just know one operation I told you, that is concatenation, right? So in lexical analysis, most of the operations on our languages will be union operation, concatenation operation, and closure operation. So this topic is 2.8.2 in my notes. So very important topic once again for your exam point of view. These are the operations what we can perform on our languages, not on our arithmetic operands or operators. Okay, so here we are performing these operations on languages. Okay, so union operation, concatenation operation, closure operation. So here one table is there or a figure is there. Here I am going to show you these operations. Union of the language L and M. Two languages are there, L and M. Union of these language is indicated by this symbol, denoted by this symbol. So what it is going to give us? The output will be again one string. Again, output will be one string which is formed in these two languages. Okay, what is this string? How it will be? This string is either in L or it is in M. I think you know the union operation in sets. The same thing here also. Okay. So A and B are two sets. A contains the elements 1, 2, 3. B contains 3, 4, 5. In both the sets, 3 is a common. Then once you union them, A union B will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So instead of writing 3 two times, we have taken it as only one time. So 3 is, so the entire string or set, whatever you are getting after union, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is A union B. So this complete A union B elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, either they are present in A or else they are present in B, right? It is true. So here also L union M is nothing but union of two languages, which is giving us one string, and this string is present either in L or in M. Similarly, concatenation of L, just now I already told you what it is going to give us. L is a language, M is a language, and in between them there is no any symbol for concatenation. Then you should understand that it is a concatenation of two languages. What it is going to give us? Again, it is going to give us a string S, which is concatenated with T, or T is a string which is concatenated with a S. Okay, combination of two strings it is giving, two strings. S is in L and T is in a M. S belongs to L language, T belongs to M language. Then you join them, then we will get ST. Okay, then closure is again divided into two operations, clean closure and positive closure. Clean is the name of the mathematician. Okay, so because of that he is named only, we have named to this operation, that is clean closure, which is indicated by the star symbol on top of our language notation L. L star. L star means it is a clean closure, which always indicates 0 or more. I think already you know in earlier semesters, 0 indicates that 0 or more. So because of that only here I variable is initialized to 0 and up to where? Infinity. Okay, so it is going to give us L to the power I. So that may be I may be any number in between 0 to infinity. Okay, so 0 or more. Then positive closure of L language, L plus. How to denote it? L plus. It is again 1 or more. Plus indicates that 1 or more it is. These all are meta characters. Plus star, question mark. Okay, you should understand being a computer science students. Plus indicates that 1 or more. Star indicates 0 or more. Question mark will also come. Question mark indicates 0 or 1. Okay, so here plus is there, which is ranging from 1 to infinity, 1 or many or 1 or more, L to the power I value is in between 1 to infinity. Okay, just remember these operations which we can perform on languages. Okay, then here one example is there. Here two sets are there. One set is there, L set, which is a letter, which is indicating a letter. L means what here? Letter. Set L is a letter. Which letters? Uppercase as well as lowercase, A to Z, A to Z. So how many characters are there in this set now? How many elements are there in this set now? 52 elements are there, because capital letter A to Z are 26, small letter A to Z are 26. 26 plus 26, 52. 52 letters are there. And one more set is there, digit, capital D. Digits are also 0 to 9. Okay, elements are 0 to 9. Then total number of digits are 10 here. Remember, here 52 and here 10. Okay, so once if you perform this union here, what you will get after union of these two sets, you will get how many elements in your set? It is a set of letters and digits, right? So it is a, strictly speaking, that language with the 62 strings. Okay, and these strings length will be 1, because all are individual characters, all are individual symbols, all are individual alphabets, A, B, C, like 0, 1, 2, 3, like this. So 62 strings we will get, or 62 symbols we will get in a L union D. Okay, so then LD, that is concatenation. How you have done this concatenation? It means that suppose here in this set you take a first element and in this set you take a first element and concatenate them, then it will become A0. Then take a second element of this second set, then it will be A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 up to A9. It means 10 strings we got. Similarly, you take a second character or second element of a first set and again you take a first element of a second set, then it will be B0, B1, B2, B3 up to B9. Next, capital C you take up to capital Z, like you do like this only. Then again you take a small letter A and you do A0, A1, A2 up to A9. Take a small letter B, B0, B1, B2, B3 up to B9. Like this you do it for small letters also, then you will get 520 strings of length 2, because concatenation is going on there. S is combined with T or T is combined with S. In just previous table I have shown you. Here D is concatenated with L. Okay, and then what is this? Clean closure. Clean closure, instead of star I have used here I value directly as a 4. What do you mean it? It means that it is going to give us some strings whose length is 4 characters or 4 letter strings. Okay, so this regular expression will match only those words or only those patterns which are having exactly 4 characters. Only those strings this L to the power 4 will give us, L4 will give us. What is L star? L star will give us all strings including empty string, including 0 characters, 0 symbols, 1 character, 2 character, 3 characters, 4 characters. Okay, how many characters are there totally? 62 are there, 62. Okay, so it means it will give us all strings including empty string. Okay, then L concatenated with L union D closure star, that is star. What it is going to do? This star is already I told you 0 or 1, 0 or more. So you just consider if it is 0 after union of L and L with D, you are not getting anything, then only L will be present there. If you get at least one character or symbol here, then it will be appended or it will be concatenated with this letter. So this is going to give us all the strings of letters and digits which are beginning with a letter compulsorily. At least one letter will be present there. At least one letter will be present. Okay, and to this letter the remaining portion will come and appended, that is L concatenated with L union D 0 or more times. Okay, so D plus, what is this? D plus is also closure function. Which closure? Positive closure. What it is going to do? Already I told you plus. What is that plus is indicating? One or more number of digits it is going to give us. One or more number of digits it is going to give us. It may be minimum one digit. It may be 1, 2, 3, or else it may be our password of ATM, 4-digit ATM, 6-digit ATM, or any bank account number, any mobile number, whatever it may be. In that string, there may be 10 digits or 10 numbers or 4 numbers, 8 numbers. Those all strings will be given by this D plus. Clear? Now, next topic is 2.8.3. I have not written here. I will write it later. Okay. Regular expressions. Very important topic. The main thing is this only I wanted to tell you. Okay. Before regular expressions, you just take one concept or one example that if I want to express or describe the C variables, C language variables or C language identifiers, then how I can express it, how I can specify it, how I can describe it? It will be exactly like this, because if you observe here, so this string is beginning with one letter, that is alphabet, followed by some letters, 0 or more letters, as well as 0 or more number of digits. but this string is not beginning with a digit. If you observe here, it is beginning with a letter, which is very much suitable for our variables or identifiers of C language. But only one difference is here, underscore is not included here, right? So if you include that underscore, then it will be our regular expression for representing our C identifiers. Okay, so now let us see what are these regular expressions. See, the regular expressions are notations, some type of way of expressing something. What they are expressing, what they are describing, regular expressions are describing the languages. So languages are described by regular expressions. Remember, what are regular expressions? Regular expressions are the notations which will represent, describe, specify the languages. Okay, so here now one notation is there. Suppose letter underscore, letter underscore. It means that after letter there may be a underscore. After underscore you can write again one more letter, or you can write one digit. Then it will be the proper notation for our, or proper pattern for our C variable or C identifiers. Okay, so because of that only we can represent our identifier for C with this regular expression: letter followed by underscore, again followed by 0 or more letters or 0 or more digits. Okay, and here, so this vertical pipeline is there, no vertical pipeline. So this is called as a union. Okay, see clearly I am telling here in this point, you can see here, you just observe my mouse cursor, the vertical bar is here union. So previously in set you used U symbol, U for union, but here we, in our regular expression, instead of using that symbol we use this vertical pipeline. This is union. It means this string, this sub part or whatever I am circling here, this will either give us a string which is belonging to or present in only this letters, or else it will be present in this digit. So if you observe my pronunciation or my explanation, I used one word here, or. So now onwards, if you want to use the word union to pronounce this pipeline, you can use it, or else you can pronounce it as a or also. Either letter or digit, how many? 0 or more, will be followed by this letter underscore. Then it is perfect for our C language identifiers. This regular expression is a perfect regular expression to identify, to represent or to describe our C language identifiers or variables. Okay, so now here we have some two rules here to write these regular expressions. What are those two rules? These are also very important for your exam. See, here the first rule is a basis, then induction rule. Basis rule and induction rule. See, these are two rules. Why we are using them? These rules are going to guide us. They are going to give us some guidelines to write the regular expressions. What are those two rules? There are two rules that form the basis. Again, in a basis, there are two rules are there. Again, sub rules are there, two rules. What are those sub rules for basis? Basis means what? Foundation. To write any one regular expression, first you should make a foundation, that is basis rule. It means some basics you should understand. What is this epsilon? Epsilon is a empty string. Nothing is there, no symbol, no character, no alphabet is there in that set or string. So this empty string is a regular expression. Empty string is also regular expression. And the language which is composed of this empty string is a empty string only again. Okay, since there is no any symbol, then it will be the empty string. Okay, which is a language whose sole number is a empty string. So empty string, if any language is created by using that empty string, again you will get empty string only. Okay. Second rule, if A is a symbol, okay, A is a symbol or alphabet or character in a set which is indicated by this sigma symbol here. Okay. What is this sigma? It is a alphabet, set of alphabets or set of symbols. Remember, this is set of alphabets or set of symbols. Among these set of symbols, A is also one of the symbols which is belonging to this set. Then A is also regular expression. A is also single symbol is also regular expression, and L of A. So by using that symbol, if you are constructing any language, that is called as L of A. Okay. Then again what you will get? You will get once again A only. The string what you will get? You will get A only from that language, because it is only one string is there, right? So here to make 1 minute. So what we are getting here? The language with only one string. The language with only one string and whose length is also one only. Okay. And here, if you observe this expression carefully, this A is written in a bold letter and this A is written in a italics. So why they have made this differentiation? So to make you understand better and easily, they have written like this. So whatever the characters we have written in italics, they are called as a symbols. Here I told you A is written in a symbol italic. So it is a symbol. It means it is an alphabet. It is a character which is belonging to a set of characters, sigma. So symbols will be written in a italics, and its corresponding regular expression will be written in a bold case. So it means that first we consider a symbol with which we are going to generate or create a language, and for that language we write the regular expression. So symbols will be now onwards always usually they will be written in a italics, and languages in languages once again instead of writing that A here with italic, we have made it A as a bold, clearly to tell you that it is not a symbol, it is a regular expression. See here capital A, sorry, this small letter A is here also, it is bold here. So to don't get confusion, A and this A, they have made this differentiation, that's all. The italic A is a symbol, the bold letter A is a regular expression. Remember, regular expression is written in a bold letter, that's all. And symbol is written in a italics. Clear? So these are the two rules in a basis. Then come to induction. Induction. So there are four again sub rules are there, four sub parts are there. Okay, where the larger regular expressions are built here from small regular expressions. Okay, suppose here we are going to consider two regular expressions R and S, and these two regular expressions are going to denote or they are going to represent two languages respectively, L of R, L of S. What it means, L of R, L of S? L of R is a language which is created by the regular expression R, and in this regular expressions there are some symbols are there definitely. It means that definitely this L language is created by the regular expression R which contains some symbols, and this is a L is a language which is created by the symbols, okay, or regular expression here. So here R union S, R union S is a again regular expression which is denoting the language L of R union L of S, and here concatenation is there. These two regular expressions are representing the languages L of R, L of S. Both of them are concatenated here. And R star, it is also regular expression. It is also regular expression. Just concentrate here. I am pronouncing them as regular expressions. Regular expressions. What they are going to denote, what they are going to represent, what they are going to specify? They are going to represent the languages. L of R whole to the power star, that is clean closure, 0 or more. Then R, only R, what it means? It is also one regular expression which is denoting the language, L of R simply. Okay, so this last rule says that we can add additional pairs of parentheses around the expression without changing the language theory, language they denote. It means that instead of writing only R without parentheses, we can write R by enclosing it within the parentheses also. Okay, then this regular expression will represent our language L of R, which is a language which is prepared or created by the regular expression and symbols R. And it is not mandatory to use these parentheses. Keep it in your mind. It is not mandatory. If you write R also, then it is fine. Okay, so this type of unnecessary parentheses we can remove in our regular expressions. If you want a clear picture, then you can use these parentheses. So how to remove these unnecessary pairs of parentheses? So to remove these unnecessary parentheses or brackets, we use again two conventions here. Two or three conventions. What are those conventions or practices? The unary operator star, don't get confusion. Star is not a multiplication operator here. Multiplication operator is a binary operator because it can operate on two operands. But here I am talking about clean closure operator star, which is a unary operator. It means that it operates on only one language or one operand. And this clean closure has a highest precedence. Its priority or precedence is a highest. First we should perform this clean closure, and its associativity is left to right, left associativity. Okay, so it means that wherever star comes, first we should concentrate on this and we should solve it, that is 0 or more. Then concatenation has a second priority, concatenation, and its associativity is also left to right. Then here pipeline union has a lowest precedence and its associativity is also left to right. It means that first we should solve star, that is clean closure, then we should solve concatenation, then we should solve union. Remember, star, concatenation, then union, star, concatenation and vertical pipeline. Okay, so then when we how we can eliminate the unnecessary brackets here, because already you know this precedence. If two operators have two same precedence, then we can go with associativity. Already you know these all rules. Suppose if your regular expression is like this, A, which is surrounded by parentheses, union with B star C, then instead of using these multiple number of parentheses here, already you know the priority or precedence of a star union, then just simply remove them and directly you can write A is unioned with B star C. Okay, why I told you that A is unioned with B star C? Because I am giving first priority to star. So first I will evaluate this B star C, then whatever the string will come here, that will be unioned with A. Are you understanding how we can remove the unnecessary parentheses? Okay, so just guys, give me 2 minutes break, not 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes break, and once again you join this link after 10 minutes, because my webex will not restart immediately, so I want to continue the class. So please rejoin the meeting at exactly 12:30. Okay, let us take some 8 minutes break. At exactly 12:30 you rejoin the meeting. Okay, I want to continue the class. You can leave the meeting now.